My social life is a thing of the past. That's it, that's what I'm doing down here. I don't have a life anymore. I'm trying to get more help, so I got more time off to do other things, but at the moment this is 24/7 almost. Well, we were in Nottingham, running an art cinema there, and we were looking around the country for places that weren't doing this type of cinema, and nobody was doing it in Portsmouth. So I came down here to get it going. That was in November 2005. So we've done 2.5 years now. It's pretty dire to start with, but after about a year, people began to cotton on to what we were doing, and it's taken off quite well. I think people are probably a bit tired of multiplex stuff, you know, they want something else. And so that may be a sort of thing that saves independent cinemas. They offer something more interesting. People want that. Yeah.
If you stopped people in Commercial Road this afternoon and said, why don't you go to number 6, most of them would say, what's number 6? I don't know about number 6, and you know.
And I think the problem with independent film showing of exhibition in Portsmouth is that it's not a particularly highly cultured place. And I think among the general population, this sounds quite snobby, among the general population there isn't a lot of enthusiasm for what we might call art house.
It costs about £800 a week, basic, to run this place on 4 days. We're not quite at break even, we're still losing about a couple of £100 a week. We get no subsidies. We get some money from Carlton Advertising, show ads, so we work for very low money. You don't do this to make money. You know. Distributors run this business. They're the only people who make the money. This is a business, it's not a game.
Whether there is really a future for buildings that people go to is I think a bigger social and historical question. In 1939 and the 40s, the crowds were twice the size that they are now, and that's true of a great many public arenas for entertainment. You know, in those days people went out. Sometimes they went to the cinema because life at home was cold. You didn't have central heating, you didn't have wall-to-wall carpeting, you didn't have double glazing. It was freezing cold. If you went to the cinema, it was cheaper than heating your house, so you went. You know, but there was also a much bigger interest, if you like, in the collective entertainment experience, and I think number 6 is having to deal with that. You know, 250,000 people potentially could go to number 6, but actually 20 do, and you think, well, why is that? What's that about?
But it's always been a town that was fond of going to the cinema, so I think there's a very rich culture at the hinterland of that, and something which could still be tapped into. The real problem, of course, is TV and video. Well,
it's got to expand somehow, and digital technology is going to make a huge difference, because, I mean, 5 years down the road, it's going to be practically all digital. So even now, you ask from a distributor for a film, they'll ask you, do you want film or do you want digital disc? So, you know, it's creeping in faster and faster. Yeah, a lot of independent cinemas are going to be disappearing unless they can sort of accommodate to digital. Yeah, it'd be sad to see that sort of thing disappear. It won't disappear entirely, but it'll change a lot. There'll be there'll be very few places doing this kind of thing. But then it's still not very clear exactly what's going to happen, even now. So it's well, it's a quandary, but there we are. We have to wait and see. I have no answers to it.